try. But is that what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying here? No, he says, Prati divase. Every day, every day, every day. And it has to become like breathing. Can you actually live without breathing? They're trying to test everybody nowadays to see if they can live without breathing. That we have to breathe. And this, just like that, the pure devotees, they feel so much happiness. It's like their life breath. When you can take a deep of fresh mountain air, and you feel so much invigorated by that. Similarly, the pure devotees, they are invigorated by everything that's mentioned in this song. Can we live without doing these activities? Can we live without them? Some people are trying. Even after knowing about them, some are trying to live without them. But they will gradually conquer everyone, because these activities are the transcendental activities of bhakti. And bhakti is a manifestation of what? Ladini Shakti potency, combined with some Vit Shakti potency. Gurudev also told that it is not possible to do bhakti and not be happy. It is not possible. Why is it not possible to do bhakti and not be happy?
Because it's the nature of bhakti.
Yes. Ladini. Does everyone know the meaning of Ladini? Ladini Shakti?
The most pleasurable.
What is Ladini Shakti?
Most pleasurable energy.
Yes, it is Krishna's pleasure potency, through which he enjoys. And we know that Krishna does not enjoy through his superior energy. Did he do that? No. Only his supreme pleasure potency. Similarly, the jivas can the high happiness beyond imagination with Ladini Shakti potency through the element of sadhana. Bhakti sadhana manifests this phenomenon by our efforts to do bhakti sadhana. Prati divase, every day, something much wrong in our spiritual life. We cannot claim to be following a spiritual life, truly. I mean, everybody likes to say nowadays, oh, that's not my path, or this is my path, and this is my spiritual path, and all of that. But there's only one path for the jiva. To attain spiritual perfection, you can't figure out your own path. Krishna has already, the entire creation has manifested. Element, each and every aspect of the creation has its own dharma. Everything has its dharma. Water has its dharma. Wetness. Fire has its dharma. Heat. So everything in the material creation and the spiritual world has a dharma. What is the dharma of the jiva? What is the dharma of the living entity? Is that all? I've got to really be specific on this one. What is the dharma of the living entity, and who told this, and what is the shloka that says it? Thank you. Yeah. Say the first line and tell. What is the meaning?
Jiva Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Jiva Swarup, the eternal form and constitution and nature of the jiva.
is to be Krishna Nitya Das, the eternal servant of Krishna.
So Swarup, what is the meaning of Swarup? Technically, Swarup
The form. One's own form.
are one's own form. Swa means your own.
Yeah, true form, right?
Your own means swa, and rupa means form. So, your own form. Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanatana Goswami, Jiver Swarup Hoy. The Swarup of the Jiva is. Like this. You might need more chairs, no? No? Okay.
We have chairs.
I know, chairs are there, but they have to be picked up and brought.
I would sit offering to bring one.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
know.
I'm fine, thank you, Mark.
Okay. So, Jiver Swarup Hoy. This one line, there's a whole article written by, who was it? Srila Bhajan Maharaj or Srila Trivikram Maharaj in the Harmonist, about how this one line, this mantra, spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is practically the most important praman, most fundamental praman, evidence, to prove what is the real dharma, the real constitutional activity of the jiva, of the living entity. So he's saying, Jiver Swarup Hoy. Everyone say after me, Jiver Swarup Hoy. Say, Jiver Swarup Hoy. That means the Swarup of the jiva is. Then he says, Krishner Nitya Das. Krishner Nitya Das. Again, Krishner Nitya Das. What does Krishner mean? Of Krishna. Sometimes, most of the time when Prabhupada quotes this verse, he just says, Nitya Krishna Das. Not to confuse with you're eternal servant of Krishna. But the actual literal verse says, Krishner Nitya Das. Eternal servant, Nitya Das means eternal servant of Krishna, Krishner. So, Jiver Swarup Hoy. The Swarup of the Jiva is Krishna. Like that. And then he says, Krishna Tatasta. Yes. What meaning?
We came from the Tatastha Shakti
Of who? Of Krishna. He says Krishna Tatasta Shakti. Yes. And?
We're both similar. Is that right? Gosh, we're part and parcel of him, but also different from him.
Yeah. Bhed, abhed. Bhed means different, and abhed means non-different. Bhed, abhed. And what does prakash mean?
It's like, we're not directly him, it's like a manifestation of him.
Yes, that's the word. We are a manifestation of Krishna's what? Tatastha Shakti. What does Tatastha mean?
Borderline.
Mm-hmm. What's the literal meaning of the word Tata? Bank. Jamuna Tatachara. Krishna is always going, Chara, he's going on the bank of the Yamuna, Tatachara. So Tatastha means situated in the Tata. And the bank of a river is the example being used. So that region called Tatastha is the place from which the jivas are emanating. It's not possible to visualize this exactly with our mind because it's in the realm of inconceivable. There's quite a lot of things about jiva tattva that is inconceivable. So in this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told what is our relationship with Krishna. He says that the jivas are his tatastha shakti, and they are simultaneously one with him and different. Jiva Swarupahoy Krishna Nitya Das, and they are his eternal servant. Krishna Tatastha Shakti Ved Aved Prakash. They are simultaneously different and non-different from Krishna. So this function of the jiva to serve Krishna is our natural function. But we cannot serve Krishna without the help of the Hladini Shakti potency of Krishna. That very basic, fundamental introductory lecture that Srila Prabhupada recorded and sang the Hare Krishna mantra, on that album, they call it the Happening album. So there, Prabhupada has given a lecture, and it's based upon actually Srila Gopala Guru Goswami's commentary on the Mahamantra. Did you know that? Gopala Guru Goswami. And it's there in Gurudev's small Harinam Mahamantra book. Very wonderful little book. And Gopala Guru Goswami's, how he's introducing the three words, the three names in the Mahamantra. So Prabhupada followed that, what Gopal Guru Goswami told, by saying that Hare means what? The energy of the Lord. And Krishna, or Hari, is the Lord. Then he says, how did he put that? Without the help. Then he told, Mother Hara helps in achieving the grace of the Supreme Father, Hari. So, in this context, Mother Hara is actually Srimati Radharani. And the name Hare is in what is called the vocative case. The vocative means you are calling out. You are calling out. It is not a request, per se. It is vocative. O Krishna, O Radha, O Hare. But attached to that appeal, to that call, is a request also, please engage me in your service. This is a very fundamental explanation of the Mahamantra. There's more. So, Radha and Krishna have come in the form of their names, their holy names. And the Mahamantra is in that case, grammatical case of vocative, calling out to them. So even if someone doesn't know the meaning of the words, still the words will have their effect. Just like if you don't know the meaning of water and you ask in some foreign language for water, give me pani, give me jal, or whatever, the people will understand and they'll bring you water. You may not know, but they'll tell you, oh, this word is for water, pani. Just say pani. Pani lagbe. I need water. So, in the transcendental sense, Krishna, Srimati Radharani, Krishna and his energy and his form as Rama, which has various meanings also. But this is please engage me. Please engage me in your service. And the commentaries are very interesting in Gurudev's book. There's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on the Mahamantra. There's Raghunath Das Goswami's commentary on the Mahamantra. And So much rasa is there. But the most basic tattva commentary by Gopal Guru Goswami in general. So, if the Mahamantra is uttered by someone, in fact, Jiva Goswami has even explained that if someone utters this names, the holy names, even without the syllables being connected, for example, the name Hari, Hari, has 2 syllables, Hari. So Jiva Goswami has explained that in languages, Krishna has been very merciful and he's enabled his name to appear in so many different languages, even separated by other syllables. So if you have like Ha, I can't think of an example.
Not the Ramada Hotel.
Or Ramada, that's connected. That's connected.
In Spanish, branch is a Rama.
What?
In Spanish, Ram, it's branch. Like a branch of a tree is Rama.
What about
Yeah,
Barack
well, this is
Obama?
meanings.
Barack Obama, everyone was chanting his name.
Yeah, that's correct. That's a good one. I don't like to give him any credit, but
Barack Obama.
yeah, because Obama. So Ra and Ma are there. Now, we should understand, this is directly stated by Jiva Goswami, that Krishna gives the Jiva what is called Nam Abhas, a semblance of the name. They get Sukriti by this. This is one way in which Krishna gives to the wandering Jivas an opportunity to acquire Sukriti, which will gradually lead them to sadhusanga and so forth. Krishna is very, very merciful. There are different types of namabhas. It's also very clearly explained in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Harinam Chintamani book, in which Mahaprabhu wants to hear from Haridas Thakur. So just like Mahaprabhu wanted to hear from Ramananda Roy, so he wanted to hear from Haridas Thakur. And this whole book, Harinam Chintamani, is about Mahaprabhu asking the question, how can the jivas be liberated? How can they be saved? And Haridas Thakur very humbly is telling that actually I know nothing because I'm the most fallen and wretched person, but I know that it is your desire to hear from this low mouth. So whatever I'm going to speak, it's actually being given by you, and then he begins to speak. And that whole book, very interesting to study that book. Harinam Chintamani. Chintamani means touchstone. So any touchstone you touch it, it becomes gold. So the transcendental touchstone, Harinam Chintamani. Yes, so there, Haridas Thakur has told so much about Nam Abhas in various places, descriptions of the various types of Nam Abhas. For example, using the name of Krishna to indicate something else. You know, it's just like devotees are named names of the Lord, because this is the Vaishnava culture, that householders will have children that have names of Krishna. That's why, because then as they're calling the names of, just like Ajamil, he named his son Narayan, but he didn't intentionally name him Narayan as being the name of the Supreme Lord, right? But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that in actuality, that was his sadhana, which was destroying all his prarabdha karma and aprarabdha karma. His sadhana was what? That, oh Narayan, come here, oh Narayan, eat this, oh Narayan. And what was happening was that without knowing, all of his inauspicious karmas were being burnt. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that Just like when a rope, like a big thick rope, is on the ground and it's set on fire and it burns the rope. So we can see sometimes that the ashes that are remaining, they still have the shape of a rope. But if you try to pick it up, nothing. He gives that example for Ajamil. That just by saying the name of Narayan, Krishna, the Lord who he worshipped in his younger years, was being very kind and merciful, and he arranged that he would become freed from the effects of all of his sinful activities by just unconsciously chanting the name of Narayan. So, and that's why when the young, very terrifying appearance, and they were pulling him out of his subtle body, they were pulling him with a rope around his neck from the gross body. You can see some good paintings by the devotees who have depicted this in art. And at that very moment, he saw his son in the corner of the room. And he was calling for his son, but as he called the name and the 4 syllables, Narayana, with such complete, absolute dependency, what happened? Immediately, 4 transcendental figures came, because there are 4 syllables. That's why 4 came, and they overpowered the 3 Yamadutas. And then there was a discussion. I'm not going to tell the whole thing. So the whole point is that Nam Abbas is very effective. Nam Abbas is very powerful. But even more powerful than that is what? Practicing sadhan bhajan, regular chanting of Nam every day, prati divase, with all the other elements combined that are mentioned here in the song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's saying the first point that he's making is that Śuddha-bhakata charana renu. That means the renu, the dust of the pure devotee. Śuddha-bhakata. Śuddha means pure devotee. Śuddha-bhakata charana renu bhajana anukula. Oh, this is so favorable for Krishna bhajan. He says, bhakata seva paramasiddhi prema latikara mula. And service to such bhakatas, bhakata seva paramasiddhi. It brings the highest perfection. In and of itself, that service is also the highest perfection, to serve the pure devotees. And that service is called the Prem Lati Kara Mula. Mul means root. Prem Lati Kara means the root of the creeper of Prem. That creeper of Prem that Mahaprabhu describes is growing in our heart. Then he tells about what today is called Madhava Titi. Today, Ekadasi is also named Madhava Titi. Why is it named Madhava Titi?
Madhava is the goddess of fortune, so it's also fortune, and it's Krishna's.
Yeah, Madhava Krishna, next line, Krishna Vasati. Krishna dwells. Vasati means to live, to dwell. So Krishna, he dwells in that specific day, Madhavatiti. And he's also talking about other days. So here he's saying Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. Bhakti Janani means mother of bhakti. These days, Ekadasi, Janmashtami, they are the mother of devotion. In other words, they give birth to bhakti. So he says, Jatana Palana Kodi. When someone, when Jatana Palana Kodi, they take refuge of these days. They observe these days with great, honor. Oh, today is Ekadashi. Oh, today is the day that I can make some spiritual advancement. Oh, today I will be more serious than at other times. When this mood is there, then Ekadasi enables the bhakta to advance. Yes, so knowing that Krishna dwells in these holy days, then with great regard, with jatane, jatane means to endeavor, palanakoti, with great regard, I also accept them as my residents. Then he's talking about another extremely favorable activity that he likes to do every day. He says, Gaur Amar Jai Sabstane Korala Brahmana Range. So in the company of devotees, Pranai Bhakata Sangye. What is a Pranai Bhakta? Pranai. What is a Pranai Bhakta? It means a Bhakta who has Pranay, who has love for Krishna. So he's saying, in the company of devotees who have transcendental love, then what will I do? I will behold all the places where my Gora joyfully wandered. So where did Gora wander? First in Navadvip Dham he wandered, all around. What?
Godruma?
Yes, that's one of the places. He wandered on all the 9 islands and outlying villages also. Gaur Amar Jeshabastani, those different places, Koralo Brahmana Range. So my Gora, he went. Brahmana Range means with very great happiness, he wandered, doing kirtan. We have those songs in our songbook. How he did kirtan with his devotees and went. Udilo Aruna Purava Bhage, Dvijamani Gora Amare Jage. Vakata Samuha, Loya Sate, Gela Nagara Vraje. Udilo Aruna, in the early morning, when the reddish sun appeared on the horizon. Udilo Aruna Purava Bhage, eastern horizon. Udilo Aruna Purava Bhage, Dvija Mani Gaura, Amani Jagi. He went, he woke up, he arose in the morning time, and he's the Dvija Mani, the jewel of the twice born, of the Brahmanas. So Bhakata Samuha, all of his bhaktas, Bhakata Samuha, Loya Sate, he took them along with him. Gela Nagara Braje. Then he went to all the different towns with some kirtan. Tatai tatai bajalakol, ghana ghana tahi janjera rol, preme dhala dhala sonarayanga. Preme dhala dhala sonarayanga. No, that's you're mixing 2 songs. Prema dhala dhala sonarayanga. Charane Nupurabhaja, yes. So, Prema Dhala Dhala Sonar Anga. You know what that means? It means the beautiful golden form. Sonar Anga of Mahaprabhu was quivering in praying. Quivering, shaking and praying. Prema Dhala Dhala Sonarayanga. Charane Nupurabhaja. And his nupur, his ankle bells are jingling like this. So beautiful songs. by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he's telling here, I want to go with pranayi bhaktas and wander in the same places where my Gora wandered, and behold those places. Haribo Ami. Mridangavadya shunite mana avasara sadajache. Oh, my heart always prays for the opportunity to hear the mridanga play. Shunite mana avasara sadajache. Always my heart is praying to hear the mridanga. And Gaur Vihita Kirtana Shuni Anande Hridaya Nache. Oh, upon hearing a kirtan glorifying Sri Gaura, my heart dances in joy. Anande Hridaya Nache. In Ananda, my heart is dancing in joy. When I hear the kirtan glorifying Gauranga. Jugalamurti deki amor parama ananda hoy. When I see the Jugal Murti of the divine couple, then I feel the highest bliss. Parama ananda hoy. And prasad seva korite hoy sakala prapancha joy. Then when I do prasad seva, after having the darshan of the beautiful deities and feeling parama ananda, then sakala prapancha joy. I feel that by taking and honoring this mahaprasad, it helps me to completely conquer the material world of the 5 elements. You know the song? I know that everyone here knows the song. It was written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur about taking Krishna Prasadam. What is that song? Sharir avidya jal jyotendra tahika. Let me tell you a story. The first time that I went to India in 1975, 5 years after I joined. And I had been really, when can I go, when can I go, when can I? So finally. And that was the year when biggest group of Western devotees went to India. And it was a very big adventure. They what's it called? Charter flights. They arranged charter flight that Air India agreed that we would charter the whole airplane, pretty much. There was a few non-devotees on the airplane, but it was like a jumbo jet. How many seats they have? I don't know, 400 seats or something, you know? But that one airplane, we chartered it from New York, and everybody met at the airport, and the temple had arranged for prasadam bags to be given for the devotees. And so, you know, they brought instruments and prasadam, bags of prasadam for the devotees.
Stewardesses distribute them?
Huh?
Did the stewardesses
No. The devotees took them on the plane. It wasn't like now when you got to go through the X-ray machine and this and that. There was no so much security as now. And so we got on the plane, and the plane flew from New York along with kirtan going on. And as we're crossing the Atlantic, going to Europe, I think London was our first stop. Then, you know, there was kirtan and some class going on, and the whole plane is devotees, you know. And when they were flying across the Atlantic, then the airline pilot, because the devotees during the kirtan, they got up in the aisles and they started dancing in the aisles. And the airline pilot had to, you know, give an announcement, please don't dance. You're shaking the plane. So anyway, we got to London, and then more devotees came on the plane. Then we stopped in, I think, Germany. Then more devotees came on the plane, European devotees. I think from there we flew to one Middle Eastern country. It was for refueling, and then to Bombay. We didn't get off the plane in Bombay. We just waited and refueled again, and then it flew to Calcutta. So this is like 30 hours on the plane. And we arrived in somewhere around like late morning, midday, something like that. No, we arrived more early morning, like maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. And when we came off of the plane, we paid our Dandavat pranams on the tarmac, because this is the first time we're touching the holy land of India. And not only that, but this is Srila Prabhupada's birthplace, Calcutta, you know. So then we came, got our luggages, and the devotees who were at that time living in Mayapur, they arranged buses to transport all the devotees from the airport directly to, what's it called, the Chandrodaya Mandir, Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, Prabhupada's temple. So, you know, it was the first time we're coming from, it's like February, late February, coming from New York, dismal, snow, and just cold, and, you know, miserable. Oh, I reminded you of where you were recently. So, you know, suddenly we're in the tropical paradise, and, you know, all of us had not been in India before. Most of the devotees had never gone yet. And, you know, but we'd seen the pictures, because the Chaitanya Charitamrita was being, you know, worked on, and they had all these paintings of Mahaprabhu's pastimes in tropical area, you know.
Did it have the movie The Land of Vrindavan already? Was that already out? You know
The Land of Vrindavan?
The documentary.
Yeah, that document. Anyway, it was an old.
Vrindavan, Land of Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
I don't know which one that
Maybe
is.
it was later.
I have it.
It was the second good Hare Krishna movie, and it was
Made by ISKCON
by
devotees.
Gurudev.
Oh, the second one.
78.
Oh.
Yeah, the first one was called
Okay.
Hare Krishna People.
Okay.
The next one,
Oh, 78. That's you're earlier than.
Vrindavan, Land of Krishna. A
Yeah,
lot of beautiful.
yeah. No, that film was not out. We barely even had the first film by that time,
Right.
which was called, I think, the Hare Krishna People, right? Something like that.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that was a masterpiece film that he made. We used it in preaching everywhere, translated into different languages. We even had, you know, in those days, the technology had advanced to the point where they had developed, they called it a Fairchild projector, made by Fairchild Company. And it was like in a briefcase, right? And you open up the briefcase, and then out slides like a screen that props it open. And inside is like a projector that projects onto the screen from the inside. And we could actually put this big, like, cassette into it, and it played a movie on it, like a small television screen. But the same instrument could be used to project onto a wall or onto a white sheet. And we used that for traveling and preaching. I remember going on our boat journey up the Ganga and down south in the Ganga, 6 whole months going. This is 1979. We went from village to village. We had Gaur-Nitai deities on a palanquin, a little bit smaller than the Lord Nrsingadev's palanquin, but ornately carved. And we were on a houseboat. It had no motor. It was a big, gigantic boat, probably about 30 feet long, you know, and we were maybe 5 brahmacharis, and we went on this boat from village to village, and we had 4 Muslim workers who stayed in a little section of the boat. They were all from the same village, a father and his son, and like, they were Muslim. The captain of the boat was a Muslim. The ISKCON had bought this boat. They had purchased the boat. And this Muslim captain named Dulal, he was like, he knew the entire river, from the ocean all the way up to the far north. He had gone many times on this boat. So he was the captain of the boat. But most of the time we didn't have any wind. Most of the time. It was a sailboat with a gigantic big sail. So they had to pull it with ropes along the banks. Have you ever heard about those, there's like a pastime of some, some boat wallahs who are doing that. And suddenly Krishna appears to them and said, what benediction can I give? Oh, I wish that you would put soft pillows along the bank so that my feet don't get hurt as I pull the boat. So, yeah, so...
You're in the Sundarbans, in the jungle.
But you know what we did? We went to the Sagar Island in the middle of... We went all the way down to where it meets the ocean. And then we went to this island called Sagar Island. It's a place kind of similar to the... what's it called? The Kumbh Mela, where it happens on a regular basis, you know. This is called Sagar Mela, and it had like a few 100,000 people, a few lakhs of people came. It's a astrological time period when if you take bath there, you get so much. So many people came, and we were there for that. We had to go a little distance on the ocean along the. You can still see the shore to get to that island, and the Indian Army had made so many arrangements there for the crowds. So how did I get into the boat story?
You're taking projector.
Oh, the projector, right. So in the villages, if they had electricity, not all villages had, then we would do a program at night. And we would project onto a sheet on the wall, and they would see the film with a Bengali translation overdubbed on it. Yeah, so that movie. So anyway, we arrived at Calcutta. We took the buses, and as we're rolling along, we're kind of like quite tired, and we're just nodding off to sleep, and it's hot, you know. And then finally, we got near to Mayapur. And the devotees who were leading us, who were living in Mayapur, they started kirtan, and we all woke up. And then they said, oh, now, everyone, look to the left here. That's the Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Chaitanya Mat. And we're all looking at it as we go by. And then they said, and now, look also on the left-hand side, and you're going to see the house of Shivas Angan. And then, now, you're going to see the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the big temple. And they just went slowly. They didn't stop there, because they didn't want all the devotees to get out yet. So, just like completely overwhelmed, you know. Then, at that time, I mean, if you go there to Mayapur now, you're just going to see endless buildings and construction, you know. There was nothing. Only rice fields. The whole way from the Yoga Pit, Mahaprabhu's birthplace, all the way. And so as we're driving, which is probably like a couple of miles, and we're driving down the road, and we're looking, and then the devotee says, you see that one building sticking up in the middle of all the rice fields? That's Prabhupada's temple, Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. So anyway, finally we rolled up to the front gate, which is the same gate that they had built at that time. And they had a perimeter of rooms on the front border of the property. And then we all got out, and all of our luggages. And then there was a pile of green coconuts. None of us had ever had a green coconut in our life. And we were thirsty, and we drank these wonderful, delicious green coconuts. And then they arranged prasadam for everyone, and they had built, actually, a prasadam pavilion, which is still there. They still use it for distributing free prasadam. So we went into the pavilion, and it was just, almost just the sun of the cement was still drying, you know. what they had was they had rows inside of the Prasadam pavilion with a kind of low cement plastered, what do you call it?
Benches.
Not benches, not for sitting on. Like you're going to sit down on the floor, and in front of you is this little elevator, and that's where you put your plate. And it could fit like a table, but I mean it's just very long, you know. And they had it arranged so that devotees could sit on both sides, you know, facing each other. And there were so many rows. The ladies stayed on one, and the men. And then the song came. This is where the story has originated. They began to sing the song, which we all knew. But who was singing it? You know who was singing it? I don't know who exactly, but they were Gaudiya Mat, very elderly, senior Vaishnavas, dressed in saffron, who were singing the song. And, you know, we never heard it sung in that way, you know, with the Bengali mood and operatic voices practically, you know. And so there was like 3 or 4 of them who were leading and responding. And you know, they went like Sarira Vidyaja Jyotendriya Taheka. And you know, we're all repeating and responding. Then, when they got to the end of the song, they kept on singing. What are they singing now? Later we found out that that's only part 1 of the Prasada Seva song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that we had learned, right? So, yeah, that was a very special experience to be there in Mayapur Dham, sitting down to take Mahaprasadam for the very first time off of the leaf plates and with clay cups. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhara Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ki Jai. Yes. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that I feel the highest when I have the darshan of the deity forms of the divine couple, and then when I take their prasad, I realize that, oh, through this, I will conquer all the material elements. So that's what the song is describing. The song of Prasad Seva song, Sharira Vijaya. So I thought we will remind ourselves of the meaning of this, because we used to say it after we sang the Bengali, then we would say, this material body, oh my Lord, this material body is a lump of ignorance. Then, and the senses, network of paths leading to death. Then,
of all the senses,
yes,
glorious and difficult.
yes.
But you, dear Lord,
No, Sudhirava Jajal Jitendriyata Jive Fele Vishay Sagari. We have all fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment. Tar Madhye Jiva Ati Lobha Moya Sudharmati. Of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and difficult to control. Take Jeta Katina Samsara is very difficult in this samsara to conquer over the tongue. But Krishna Boradoya Moy. Krishna is supremely merciful.
you, dear Lord,
Kari Bhari Jiva Joy Svak Prasad Anna Dilabai. Oh, you have given. Oh, my dear brothers, because this is a song being sung together. Oh, my dear brothers, Krishna is supremely merciful. Kari Bhari Jiva Joy. Jiva means the tongue. So, Swaprasad, his very own prasadam, Swaprasad, Anna. And Anna means grains, rice, like that. Anna Dilabai, he has given his very own prasad to conquer the tongue. Say Anamrita Kao or Pao, Radha Krishna Gunagao. That Anamrita means nectarine foodstuffs, anna, anamrita pav. This is why we don't say it on Ekadasi. Although today's Ekadasi, we're only saying it because it's part of the class. But we never say it on Ekadasi because it refers to grains there. Say anamrita pav. Let us receive this Mahaprasadam. Radha Krishna Guna Gao. As we glorify the transcendental qualities of Radha and Krishna, and Preme Dako, Chaitanya Nitai, and with Prem, we call out to Chaitanya and Nitai. See? So this is sadhana. This is sadhana. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Jai din grihe bhajana deki grihete goloka bhai. My home is transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. And when I see the bhajan of Sri Radha Krishna being performed there, so he's experiencing that when the worship of Radha and Krishna is going on in his home, it transforms into Goloka Vrindavan. This is a Bhav Bhakta. This is a Premi Bhakta expressing what happens with these activities. And then he says, when I look upon the Ganga, Charana Sidhu Dekhiya Ganga, which is the nectar emanating from the Lord's feet, Sukha Nasimapai, my happiness has no bounds, knows no bounds. And what does he say about Tulsi? When he sees Tulsi, Tulsi Deki Jura Pran. He says, when I see Tulsi, my heart becomes satisfied. Jurai. Also, Jurai also means relieved and cooled. Just like Nitai Pata Kamalam, Koti Chandra Sushitala. Jayai Jagata Jurai. Jurai means relief. When I see Tulsi, then my heart feels so much satisfied. Madhava Toshani Jani. Because I know that she, Tulsi, she is very pleasing to Madhava. Madhava Toshani. She pleases Madhava. I know this. Then, Gaur Priya, that which is dear to Gaur, Shak Sevane. What is Shak?
Spinach or green leafy vegetable.
That's right. And it's very dear to Gaura. How many types?
22.
There's a specific number. 22 different types of green vegetable. Mahaprabhu loved Shak.
That's his favorite dish.
Well, he loved it. I don't know if it was his topmost favorite.
It was said to be.
Yes. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, when I take this Shak, this green vegetable that were so dear to Gauranga, then Jivana Sartak Mani, I consider my whole life to be successful. Finally, he ends, Bhaktivinoda Krishna Bhajane Anukula Payajaha. Whatever he finds favorable for Krishna Bhajan, this Bhaktivinoda is accepting every day. Prati Divase, every day. Paramasuke, with the greatest happiness. Spikara Koraitaha. He accepts every day. So, all of these wonderful activities that we've been introduced to in our life, they are the most auspicious and the most favorable activities for doing Krishna Bhajan. And full of happiness, full of nectar. So, this song is sung every Ekadasi to remember. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling us, because Madhava Titi, Bhakti Janani. The Ekadasi day, also named Madhava Titi, is the birthplace of Bhakti. The mother of Bhakti, yes. Madhava's holy days. These days are called the Bhakti Janani, means the mother of Bhakti, mother of devotion. So, very good that we live in a society of devotees who are all practicing like this. We're most fortunate, whether we're in a far-off island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, or whether we're up on a mountaintop, as Gurudev used to say. Everywhere the devotees are coming together and practicing bhakti. So I'm just going to read a little bit short from the first purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We got up to that point, and it's talking about the three deities of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Vrindavan. Krishna has three deity forms in Vrindavan who are named Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, and Radha Gopinath. And we also sing in the song Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan. So this purport is very wonderful by Prabhupada. It's the first one in the first chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He hasn't written a purport up to this point. So this is actually verse 19. And the verse reads, 18 Thakur Godiyake Kariyachan Atmasat. These three deities of Vrindavan, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, who are the followers of Lord Chaitanya. Then he says, Tiner Charana Vandon, Tine Mor Nat. I am worshipping their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. Krishnadas Kaviraj's. This is his invocation verses. So now Prabhupada is saying, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he offers his respectful obeisances unto the three deities of Vrindavan, named Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radha Govinda Dev, and Sri Radha Gopinath. These three deities are the life and the soul of the Bengali Vaishnavas, or Gaudiya Vaishnavas, who have a natural aptitude for residing in Vrindavan. Because when Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared in Bengal, and all of his great devotees, they were very much attracted to come to Vrindavan, because Mahaprabhu's whole preaching is for bringing us to Vrindavan. And that's why the town of Vrindavan existed. Why? Because the Bengali Vaishnavas, coming in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Sanatan and all, they all came and resided in Vrindavan. And they're the ones who identified all the different holy places of Krishna's pastimes. Now, when you go to Vrindavan, I mean, it's grown unbelievable. Even in the last 40 years, 45 years since I first went there, it's unbelievable how it's expanded, you know. And the same thing in Mayapur, these two dhams.
So it was just like a small village before they started coming.
Yeah, it was like a village.
But
what to speak of 500 years ago was forest.
Yeah.
Just forest. Small village, very small, but forest. You were going to say?
Yeah, in 74, when you wake up in the early morning on the roof, most of the lights that would happen all around Vrindavan were all candlelight.
Yeah.
Not even electricity.
Because, as we know, most of the time, the electricity was not working. Load shedding. Right. You're going to say something, Prabhu? Now, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, who follow strictly in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they worship the divinity by chanting transcendental sounds meant to develop a sense of one's transcendental relationship with the Lord, a reciprocation of mellows, of rasas, of mutual affection, and ultimately the achievement of the desired success in loving service. These three deities are worshipped in three different stages of one's development. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu scrupulously follow these principles of approach. Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so what is he talking about? He's talking about Sambandha, knowledge of relationship, Abhideya, knowledge of the process, and Prayojan, the attainment of Krishna prema. So, Gaudiya Vaishnavas perceive the ultimate objective in Vedic hymns composed of 18 transcendental letters that adore Krishna as Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopijana Vallabha. So what is he talking about here? Gopal Mantra. Did you know that? Gurudev explained this when he gave Diksha. That the three names of Krishna in the Gopal Mantra are these three deities, Govinda, Gopinath, and Madan Mohan. The Krishna is Madan Mohan, Govinda, Govinda, and Gopijana Vallabha, Gopinath. So he's saying that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas perceive the ultimate objective in Vedic hymns composed of 18 transcendental letters that adore Krishna as Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopijana Vallabha. Madan Mohan is he who charms Cupid, the god of love. Govinda is he who pleases the senses and the cows. And Gopi Jana Vallabha is the transcendental lover of the gopis. So Krishna himself, he's called Madan Mohan, Govinda, Gopi Jana Vallabha, and countless other names as he plays in his different pastimes with his devotees. The three deities, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopi Jana Vallabha, have very specific qualities. Worship of Madan Mohan is on the platform of re-establishing our forgotten relationship with the personality of Godhead. In the material world, we are presently in utter ignorance of our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. Pango refers to one who cannot move independently by his own strength. What Prabhupada is referring to is the prayer. Most of you probably know this prayer because it's the Mangala Charana verses, the three pranam mantras for these three deities, beginning with Jayatam Suruto Pangor Mamamanda Materakati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohana. Radha Madan Mohan. So here Prabhupada is saying that this word in that verse, Jayatam Suruto Pangor. Pango refers to one who cannot move independently by his own strength. And Manda Mate is one who is less intelligent because he is too absorbed in materialistic activities. It is best for such persons not to aspire for success in fruitive activities or mental speculation, but instead simply to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The perfection of life is simply to surrender to the Supreme. In the beginning of our spiritual life, we must therefore worship Madan Mohan, so that he may attract us and nullify our attachment for material sense gratification. This relationship with Madan Mohan is necessary for neophyte devotees. And when one wishes to render service to the Lord with strong attachment, then one worships Govinda on the platform of transcendental service. Govinda is the reservoir of all pleasures, And when by the grace of Krishna and the devotees, one reaches perfection in devotional service, then he can appreciate Krishna as Gopi Jana Vallabha, the pleasure deity of the damsels of Vraja. The Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this mode of devotional service in 3 stages. And therefore, these worshipable deities were installed in Vrindavan by different Goswamis. They are very dear to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas there, who visit the temples at least once a day. And besides the temples of these 3 deities, many other temples have been established in Vrindavan, such as the temple of Radha Damodar of Jiva Goswami, the temple of Shyama Sundar of Shyamananda Goswami, the temple of Gokulananda of Lokanath Goswami, and the temple of Radha Raman of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. There are 7 principal temples over 400 years old that are the most prominent, most important of the 5,000 temples now existing in Vrindavan. So I always say these names. When I say the Jayadvani, I added it. It's not written in the Jayadvani, but because I was in Vrindavan for such a long time, I decided that I should say the names of these 7 main deities every day in the Jayadvani, at least once a day. So I always say, Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Govinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai. And then I say the other 4. And then I say Jai Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu Ki Jai. Then I say the names of the Ashtasakis. Then I say the names of the Manjaris. And then I say the name of Vrinda Devi, Yogamaya Purnamasi, and Gopishwar Mahadev. Because I live at Rup Sanatan, and they're all there. Vrinda Devi's on the altar, and Yogamaya, Purnamasi, and Gopishwar Mahadev. So now, just for understanding, we should understand this next paragraph. This is why we are called Gaudiya. Gaudiya indicates the part of India between the southern side of the Himalayan mountains and the northern part of the Vindhya hills, which is called Aryavarta, or this portion of India, the Aryavarta, is divided into 5 parts or provinces called the Pancha Gauda Desh. Pancha Gauda Desh. So, Saraswata is one section, that's Kashmir and Punjab. Madhya Gauda, Kanya Kubja is Uttara Pradesh, including the modern city of Lucknow. Madhya Gauda is Madhya Pradesh. Maithila, Bihar and part of Bengal, and Utkal, part of Bengal and the whole of Orissa. Bengal is sometimes called Gauda Desh, partly because it forms a portion of Maithila, which was Maithila, and partly because the capital of the Hindu king Raj Lakshman Sen, it was known as Gauda. So this old capital will be known as Gaudapur and gradually Mayapur. Understand this history? You've heard this before? Do you remember hearing it? Very essential. Now, it goes further in the explanation why we're called Gaudiya. Now, the devotees of Orissa, what are they called? Udiyas. Udiya. The devotees of Bengal are called Gaudiyas. And the devotees of southern India are known as Dravida. Dravida. That's why Pancha Dravida. There are 5 provinces also. So as there are provinces in Aryavarta, that area of the Himalayan mountains and the Vindhya mountains, which are called Pancha Dravida. As there are 5 provinces in Aryavarta, so Dakshinatya, southern India, is also divided into 5 provinces which are called Pancha Dravida. Prabhupada had a disciple named Panchadravida. So among the 4 Vaishnava Acharyas, all accepted by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Sri Ramanujacharya appeared in the southern part of Andhra Pradesh at Mahabhutapuri. Then Sri Madhva Acharya appeared near Vimanagiri. Anyone has gone there to the appearance place of Madhvacharya, near to his place of Udupi? Ever been? I'm the only one. Never been. Wonderful. Very wonderful to go there and see the Krishna deity. You know what Krishna deity that is in Madhvacharya's temple? Do you know the history of that Krishna deity? That Krishna deity is more than 5,000 years old. And he came in a huge, gigantic boulder of Gopi Chandan clay, right? From a ship that Madhvacharya arranged to bring to the shore. It got stuck in a sand dune, and Madhvacharya, because he's also an incarnation of Bhima and also Hanuman. And Hanuman is also an incarnation, partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. So Madhvacharya, because Hanuman is the son of the wind god, Vayu, right? So Madhvacharya was very, very physically strong. And there's all kinds of stories about how he challenged the greatest wrestlers in the whole state to come, right? And then he put his foot down with his big toe and he said, anyone who can lift my big toe, I will consider that you have conquered me. And all of the wrestlers, they did everything in their big, gigantic, they could not budge his big toe. There's many other stories. He used to eat like huge amounts because he's a partial incarnation of Bhima, right? Yes. And like the whole gigantic branch of a banana tree that has like, how many? You know better than me. Like some of those branches, can, if they're small banana, they can have like 100 or 200 bananas on the branch. You just sit down and eat all, you know. So anyway, Madhvacharya. So Madhvacharya appeared at Pajakam near Vamangiri in the district of Mangalore. So when you go, if you fly, you want to go to Udupi, you fly from Delhi to Mangalore. And from there you take a taxi, hour and a half to Udupi. Very wonderful to be there. Oh, the deity. So the deity came on this ship that Madhvacharya helped to bring to the shore. And then they were so grateful that he helped them to somehow or other get away. Because what he did was he just moved his cloth like this, and a big wind came, and it filled up their sail, and it brought them away from the sand dune, because the sand dune had them stuck. And then they came to the shore, and then they said, oh, you've helped us, please, take whatever you like. And on the boat, they were coming from Dwarka. And you know that the tilak that we wear is called Gopi Chandan, but it's from Dwarka. And that Gopi Chandan, there was a big, huge boulder. You can still see when you go to the shops in Vrindavan, they have like big rocks of Gopi Chandan, you know. So he took this, he said, I just want this. Actually, there were 2 boulders. And he took one, and I mean, it took like 12 men to bring it off of the boat and put it onto the shore. And then, when Madhvacharya began to lift the boulder, it cracked in 2. And inside was Krishna. And you know what Krishna, that deity, how that Krishna deity came? The story is that Rukmini and the queens were listening one day to Rohini Devi in Dwarka to tell all the stories, what she had witnessed of Krishna's childhood and Balaram. Now, Devaki, the reason why she was telling this is because Devaki was lamenting one day. She was crying and lamenting to Krishna. And so Krishna was also there. She was crying and saying, oh, I never I never got to take you in my arms when you were a little baby and young boy and to see all of your sweet, beautiful pastimes and all that, right? So she was crying. And so Krishna said, oh, my mother, don't cry. I'll show them to you. And right there, Krishna came into a small little form of a little boy, and he began playing, he began jumping on her lap and taking yogurt and smearing it on her face and all of this. And everyone was drowned, completely drowned in Vatsalya mood, weeping and crying and just overwhelmed. And after that, he came to his same Krishna form. And then Rukmini said, I want a deity of that Krishna that he just showed. And I forget who carved the deity, but at any rate, about this size of a deity, and Krishna's holding a churning stick, just a churning stick that goes into the pot and churns the yogurt into butter. He's holding that in this deity form. And that deity came to Madhvacharya in this. So Madhvacharya, he took the deity on his shoulder and he began to walk from the seafront, which is I think it's something like 11 miles or something like that distance from the town of Udupi, right? And he brought this deity, and as he came with carrying the deity, he composed these beautiful prayers, which were later recorded, glorifying Krishna. So that deity is like, Govindaji is like the deity. But this is the deity of the whole town. Even Muslims and Christians, and they all come, you know, in South India to see the deity. And what happens is, Madhvacharya established that there would be 10 months or 8 months? I forget now. That he didn't want to build a very big temple because he did not want to compete in any way with Sri Rangam and the other big temples in South India. He just wanted to be, so it's a small temple, and surrounding that temple is a big, huge, like circle. It's more square, but it surrounds the temple, and then there's shops and everything. And every single night they bring another deity who represents that deity, because he never leaves that in that temple, in that room. And they bring him with a big Ratha Yatra. It's a different looking, it's like South Indian style. And every night they bring all the way around with kirtan. And the deity practically is open 24 hours. And the only way you can see the deity is through this window, right? Looking into the room. I think it's probably like maybe maximum the size of this temple room here, up to the curtain, you know, inside. That's where all the pujas are done. And the deity is probably like from me to that Vyasasan, where Gurudev's Vyasasan. And he's got a very, very opulent Shringasan, and they dress him so opulently, and so many photos are there of the deity because every day there's some special, it's like Lord Jagannath, every day there's some kind of festival in Puri, and Jagannath's being dressed in a particular way. So this Krishna deity, and like, you know, when is the Bhagavad Gita, they dress him like Krishna on the chariot, you know, dressed like the soldier on the chariot, and they have like the horses in front of him in a beautiful silver chariot. Very, very opulent worship.
Is he, what color is he and how old is he?
He's very dark, very dark. How old?
Yeah, like
he's a baby.
Like
is he a kid?
like 10 or 5.
He's standing.
He's originally, his form, as I said, is of Krishna, what he exhibited to Devaki. But it's hard to see, just like with Govindaji, over so many thousands of years, there's some deterioration, you know? So you can't see so well from, and you're not allowed to take photos and stuff also, you know? There's like a window with some bars on it, and they have you have to wait in a line. At certain times of the day, the line is long. Sometimes you can just directly go there and have darshan. And so they have, what happens is, they have actually 10 mutts in that circle that were established 800 years ago. They've been going solidly for 800 years, and they have a sannyasi and then another sannyasi who's being trained to take over when that sannyasi leaves his body, you know. And in each mat they have their own deity. And what they have is they have a system of, what's it called, like, they get an opportunity, they get a chance, like at the Radharaman temple, all the family members, there's a, what is it called, like a shift, different shifts in a sequence. They get a chance, a rotation. They get a chance to serve the deity for like a year and a half or 2 years, right? So this happens, I mean, with the Krishna deity, not the family. The family, it's not, it's for a short time, like 1 month or something. And they serve, and there's a rotation. So I was there in 2015, I think it was, yeah, in the winter, or the beginning of 2016, I was there, and there was a huge festival. They have a festival every time that there's a change from one sannyasi to the next, because that sannyasi brings his own deity from his temple into there, and he does all the puja for the next couple of years. And they call this a pariya something. It's a new change. And I was there at the only time in recent history when this was going to be, you know, the fifth time, or maybe even more than 5 times. But there was one very elderly sannyasi, he was in his 90s. And he was very famous throughout the whole town and it was his turn to take that shift, which was going to probably be his last, you know, because it was like 10 years until they get another chance. So there was like a big festival there. So anyway, just to complete this.
What was his name again, the deity in the temple?
Krishna. Yes.
In the temple?
Yeah, Udupi Krishna, they actually call him, Udupi Krishna. So I'm just finishing this. And Vishnu Swami appeared at Pandya, and Sri Nimbarka, or Nimbaditya, appeared at Munger Patan in the extreme south. So Sri Chaitanya, this is the last paragraph, and we're done. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the chain of disciplic succession from Madhva Acharya, but the Vaishnavas in his line do not accept the Tattvavadis. That's another sect. They have some variation of philosophy. They also claim to belong to the Madhva Sampradaya, but Mahaprabhu did not accept those Tattvavadis. It's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he met them. So in order to distinguish themselves clearly from the Tattvavadi branch of Madhva's descendants, the Vaishnavas of Bengal prefer to call themselves Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Understand this point? They're distinguishing. So Sri, here's the real catch. Sri Madhva Acharya is also known as Sri Gauranga. That's actually his name. So then Prabhupada says, he says, and therefore the name Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is quite suitable for the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, accepted initiation in the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Gaur Premanandi. So, Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam ki jai, jai Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pada ki jai, 4 Vaishnava Acharyas ki jai, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Gaur. Jai Shri Gaur Arti ki jai, Radha Krishna Jugal Arti ki jai. You want to lead Arti tonight? Yeah, you do. Jai Gurudev, Jai Shri Prabhupada.